Welcome, everybody, to the Loud and Drunk podcast. This is Dan, and love is in the air. Or, what, Moses, is that love, or did you just belch?
I farted a little.
Oh, yeah, that would do it. It also could just be all the cigarette smoke.
It might be that, too. I mean, it's got to come out somewhere.
Justin, we did an episode. One of our first episodes was about Valentine's
very early
Day.
on.
But we figured we're going to give it another crack.
So nice, we'll do it twice.
Yeah, you said it, brother. I am so excited to talk about my favorite holiday.
It's my favorite as well.
Oh, we're
Yeah.
talking about Arbor Day.
You are just obsessed with Arbor Day.
I like the trees.
Well, he loves the trees. And
I-
that's why Valentine's.
Moving on.
I like the trees, too, but it's a Rush song.
My name is Hunter, and I'm happy to be here for I guess it's a Valentine's Day episode, huh?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I'm excited for it.
Thanks, Hunter.
Yeah, that's
You sound it.
oozing enthusiasm.
Bursting with fruit flavor.
Oh, there's fruit here?
Yes.
Okay.
From the trees.
Can we? Oh, it's back to that then.
Yeah.
All right, never mind.
Well, guys, speaking of fruit, we talk about food a lot here. So let me tell you about one of the best places around. Head over to Stonefire Grill in Beechwood and enjoy the best wings in Ocean County. Whether it's date night or just headed to the bar to watch the game, Stonefire's atmosphere and delicious menu will leave you impressed. I'd also like to take this time to encourage you to subscribe to this podcast. We are on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Rumble, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. If you are on YouTube and Rumble, smash that like button, leave us a comment, share this video with your friends, and get in on the conversation by joining us on social media at Loud and Drunk on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Dan, actually, we do have another sponsor as well today.
What's that, Hunter?
I'm actually quite excited for this one because I think that it does tie in with Valentine's Day. If I may, we all know that a powerful engine needs a superior lubricant. Same goes for us people. But there's more to a lubricant than smooth sliding parts, and that's why we make I Can't Believe It's Not Semen in more than 50 different flavors, sure to wow you and your partner. From apple pie to smoked salmon, all I Can't Believe It's Semen products are made from the finest all-natural ingredients. That's why in a recent blind study, more than 95% of participants had no idea that they were actually tasting male ejaculate. So don't ignore your body's needs. Avoid early breakdown of your most valuable parts while giving your lover the gift of flavor. And for a limited time, the Department of Health and Family Services is offering a tax rebate worth up to $500 on all I Can't Believe It's Semen products. So whether you're a priest or just out on parole, head on over to ican'tbelieveit'ssemen.com today and get that engine purring.
Wow, I hope they gave us some personal codes to use for that as well.
Do they?
I've been using it actually, and full disclosure on this one because I did get that code first. I really do enjoy the tobacco and gunpowder flavor. It leaves the back of my pickup truck just smelling immaculate. I don't know how my lady feels about it. We don't often talk after the coitus, but it's an enjoyable scent.
Do they have a government cheese flavor?
That I don't know. You'll have to go to the website. It's I can't believe it's semen.com.
That's a stank you can take to the bank.
Absolutely, yeah. You're losing money by not cashing in here.
Somebody open a goddamn window.
Yeah, it's getting a little steamy.
We're just throwing out all sorts of slogans for these people. Immaculate ejaculate.
Yeah, it's fair. The product is good, though. I mean,
Isn't that what Jesus was born from?
Yeah, that would happen.
I guess so.
You see, this is why we're shadow banned on YouTube.
Now we're full band.
Thank you, you fine folks that have somehow found us.
We're just talking about lovemaking, and there's nothing wrong with that.
According to the people at YouTube, there is.
Oh, yeah.
It's fair enough. Yeah.
Bunch of prudes.
Yeah.
All right, guys. It is Valentine's Day. It's a time for men to be pressured into taking their wives or girlfriends out for dates and buy them shit that they don't need or want.
Gay women as well.
Well, is that a thing? Do gay women celebrate Valentine's Day?
Why wouldn't they? Yeah. The butch is just doing the same thing as a guy is, right? It's the same.
Oh, that seems like such a
Somehow
such a
I think
hassle.
they would know better, but I don't know.
You would think that, but you're doing the reverse thing. Yeah,
Listen, I'm trying to be
fair.
gracious here.
Butch women are as dumb as men are, so that's really how that breaks down.
Well, that's how there should be like a coalition between gay women and men because bitches, am I right?
Yeah.
You know that coalition can't exist, Dan.
Why? You meet up at the bar, your chick is pissed at you, you did something, you don't know what you did, it doesn't matter
But
if
you
you're
know
a
how
straight
that
man
ends.
and
You're
a
banging
lesbian.
a butch dyke and you're both upset. You're both She's disappointed. You're disgusted with yourself.
Why are you banging a butch dyke?
I don't know, Dan. You're the one who did the setup.
This is an offshoot of No Ma'am, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Although
A subsidiary.
Al never banged Marcy. There was an episode where Marcy was like dreaming about Al.
I believe so, yeah.
But then it never went in that direction. There was a couple times where Marcy like kissed Al and it disgusted him because he was repulsed by Marcy.
Yeah. Well, that's the acting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And here we are, ladies and gentlemen.
What were we talking about? Arbor Day, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Why? Stop trying to push your freaking green agenda on this podcast.
I got a green plan.
I'm sure you do.
Does it involve lubrication?
No, it just involves a bunch of edibles that I'm going to eat once I get home.
That's
That way I
Moses-
could wake up stoned.
That's Moses's Green New Deal.
Yeah.
It's just edibles for
Yeah,
everybody.
it's just-
Honestly,
it's not even for everybody.
That
It's just
might
for
work.
himself.
It
Yeah,
is just
might
for
work.
me. No, I do hand them out very loosely.
Yes.
You mostly just take mine.
You have
And
What a
moving
silence.
on.
Yeah. It is, if I don't move, he can't see me.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Everyone here is in a relationship.
Yes.
We talked about it, I think, last time, like last year. It's been that long.
Yeah, we've been doing this for just about a year.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
I know you guys, going back to that episode.
I would hope so.
We
You don't
have,
know me.
You're not in particular relationships where you're under pressure to do anything for Valentine's.
No.
Yeah, my wife doesn't really like doing that, so it makes it even harder because I want to do it because it's, ingrained in me to do that on Valentine's Day.
supposed to.
Yeah, that's what Hallmark tells me,
Obligation.
and so I must follow suit. But that makes it harder to because she doesn't want it at all, and
Yeah, I think I might have gotten something for Christina our first Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
she voiced her opinions, and I haven't done anything since. Although now I'm getting married close to Valentine's Day, so it's,
Well, that in
it's
of
a
itself.
whole
There you go.
thing.
That's the gift.
Yeah.
It's a gift that keeps on giving.
Love you,
Marriage.
baby.
For myself, it's kind of a following in suit. My lady is a little bit younger than yours because I tend to like prowl around the daycares and such like that. But,
You said it.
Again, this is why we're shadow banned on YouTube.
what did I say?
But not that young, folks.
It is understood. Well, they don't know that.
It's for the shorties.
It is understood that there should be some sort of an acknowledgement of it, but my lady does also agree that it's kind of a stupid made-up holiday.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
It's kind of like, make acknowledgement of it, but we don't need to make it a consumer thing, which
Well,
is
I mean,
what it
thank
really
you,
has become.
Hallmark 1913 fucked us to this day, so, that's how it goes.
That's what it is, yeah.
So that brings me to, since you guys have like an understanding with your ladies, I'm kind of like in a new relationship.
Yes. Yeah.
So-
You're in that frontier now.
Yeah, I'm in
so-
that, that final frontier type situation.
Good luck.
Yeah. So, I mean, we can start this off with this. What kind of advice would you give me in this kind of situation where first Valentine's Day?
Run.
Run. There you go.
Run.
That's a good one.
That's
Get
that's
out of there.
solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
Get out of there.
Yeah.
What I would absolutely say, and this is it doesn't not help for anybody, but have the conversation. How do you feel about it? Just straight up kind of shit. And nobody wants to do that because
No,
It's awkward.
Yeah, no.
we
I
all
actually-
live off avoidance.
I actually normally I have a typically like avoidant personality, but that's actually one where, and maybe it's just about my own perceptions about it, but I actually felt very comfortable talking about that immediately when I began dating my lady because I genuinely believe that it's a bullshit thing. So in other words, like some things, yes, I'll dance around, it's awkward, it's uncomfortable, but with the particular subject of Valentine's Day, I think that it's to me anyways, it's understood that it's kind of a bullshit thing. Like that it's a day to appreciate somebody else that you care about. And I would actually love to dive into the history of it. But the bottom
I
line
got
is that
some history to lay down, baby.
I
you
was
go,
going to
yeah.
ask,
But-
why is this a thing other than Hallmark?
I'll tell you
because
later.
of Saint Valentine. I think it was very early on in my relationship with my lady that I don't know if she brought it up or if I did or it was natural or whatever. I guess one of us asked the other, what do you think about that? And I was like, oh, it's bullshit. But I'm happy to do something on that day if
Right.
that makes you happy. In other words, like I don't need somebody to tell me,
You don't
hey,
want your lady to feel like left out of the situation.
right, and that's kind of what it is, So, I mean, she basically said to me in no unclear terms, she was like, I'd like for you to, also her birthday is like 2 days before that.
Right.
So, like,
yeah, my wife's is
Yeah.
like a week, almost a week before.
exactly.
Yeah,
So
I'm getting married on your wife's birthday.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
How about that?
And she's happy about that.
And the day before my lady's
Yes,
birthday.
exactly right.
But I said to her, I was like, I think that it's bullshit, but if you want me to do something for you for it, I was like, I'm happy to do that. I'm not going to be like a fucking Ebenezer Scrooge about the situation. But
Who's the Ebenezer Scrooge of Valentine's?
of Valentine's Day, it could be us.
Well,
Can it be us?
I don't see why not. Get Dickens on the phone. He'll write it.
What are we going to do? Like steal people's flowers?
I mean,
Well, I mean, if you ask the Catholic Church, it's probably a Jew or
The
something.
drunks that
Oh, that's perfect for us. We're the only Jews here.
the drunks that stole Valentine's
Yes,
Day.
yes.
Oh, that's perfect.
that is
yeah.
a good story.
Moses, can we do this?
Yeah, I got Dickens and I don't know. Who else can we get for that?
I don't know.
The screenwriter.
Yeah, we'll get Dickens for that.
Yeah, Dickens. You're a mean drunk, Mr. Moses.
Dickens and Seuss it is. They're both dead. That should be easy.
But to build on Hunter's statement there, though, it was definitely Christina who came to me. He's like, because I was like, what do you call it? Like conditioned by you do the thing, you get the shitty chocolates and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So if I remember correctly, and it's been some years, but I got Christina a necklace for the whole thing and blah 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 blah. And she's like, this is kind of stupid.
It is
'Cause
stupid.
It's obligatory.
It doesn't mean as much as if you were just to do it
Yeah.
any other fucking day of the
Yeah.
year.
And Christina's thing was listen, it's dumb to have an obligatory day to show your love for somebody. If you really love somebody, you show your love in the
Throughout the
normal
year.
ways
Throughout.
that you show
Throughout-
your love to
Exactly,
each other.
yeah. Throughout the year, you show it in general,
Yeah.
presumably through your actions. And then also every now and again, I'm a big believer in this. I don't like obligatory gift holidays. I mentioned this for the Christmas bullshit.
Once again, fuck you, Hallmark.
Yeah, exactly. But it said if I see something that strikes me, and I would do the same thing for you
say
guys.
something.
If you see something, say something.
See something, buy
But
something.
if I see something that my lady would like, then I will buy that.
Absolutely.
for her.
Something
And-
strikes you. And
Yeah, and I have no fucking patience to keep that to myself until the next holiday. So I'm just gonna give it to you right now.
It is
you
hard
know?
to hold in a gift that you're like, oh, this made me
Yeah.
think of you, and I think it's super cool,
I
and I
bought
think
it
you'll love
because
it.
it struck me exactly. Yeah, so I'm gonna give it to you right now.
Right.
And that's how I feel about it. But being forced to do something like that, I think it's rather
it's
silly.
the obligation nature of it that's just so bananas.
So
It's yeah. But by
this
all
is-
means, Hunter, go on.
The essence of Valentine's Day, though, initially, the history of it is that, and I don't know it very well, but I do know that it originated from Saint Valentine and so on and so forth.
Oh yeah, do this thing. I'll do the prehistory.
That's fair. Yeah, please do. So obviously the Christians stole it from somebody, and
Yep.
you're going to dive in on that.
Yep.
But it became in the 19th century, it became this thing that was associated with love and so on and so forth. And the gist of it was at that time, for many, many decades, really right up until the very modern period, where it became hyper commercialized. But it was just like that you give a loved one, somebody that you care about, you give them a very cheap and basic gift to show your appreciation of them. So I know this specifically in Colombia, and I believe throughout most of Latin America, it's El Día de Amor y Amistad. It's the day of love and friendship. And you just, you give a little something. It could be like a card. It could be something very basic. It's just showing appreciation to people who matter in your life. So it's very basic. It's very similar to most of the other holidays. And I think that that's quite lovely. But the idea that you have to spend, that you have to go and purchase and fully live up to this consumer image that's forced upon us, that's obviously very fictional. And it turns me off of it and makes me not want to enjoy it at all. So, and that's kind of how I view it today, which is that this is a bullshit fucking holiday. It's just about making corporations money, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. Please.
Hunter, you couldn't be more right. So we go back to the 3rd century. That's when the Catholic Church, baby, they come in. And they look at a little something that's been hanging around the Romans, been doing called Lupercalia.
Oh, shit. You got me beat.
Yep. And according to the Julian calendar, took place the 13th to the 15th of February. Now, Lupercalia was up to Lupercus, which is their god of fertility. It was a fertility festival, essentially.
It's all about banging.
So the rites would be they would get a dog or a male goat, sacrifice it to Lupercus,
Yeah, naturally.
and then they would take its pelt and cut it into fine strips. And then all the men, they're like, oh, we're going to have a good time. They would go around whipping the women,
Oh, that's
as
nice.
they did, as Romans do.
As they do, yeah.
And supposedly, as we are told by very little texts that are still left, the women loved it.
Well, I mean, not for nothing. I mean, I guess it depends on the type of lady that you're
But it was
at.
jovial. jovial. They'd run around whipping the ladies.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
It's like playful.
It's amazing. I am following your entire, historical lesson right now on history.com, and it's almost word for word.
Somebody studied.
You're not supposed to study for this podcast.
No, and you want to know where this bullshit comes from? When I was young, I used to watch a show called Time Team. It's a British show where that's really all they have as far as relics and shit is Roman shit and the British Isles.
Sense, yeah.
So I've heard a lot about Lupercalia and stuff like that. But yeah, that's what it comes as. Everything is taken from its genesis. The Catholic Church, they would take a pagan festival and they would convert it into something.
It's true of all the things.
So even with Catholicism, they don't even know what Valentine. Sometime in the 3rd century, they martyred a Valentine.
Yeah. That's true. You know this. It's true of all of Catholicism is just based off of stealing from the pagans.
Yes.
Who actually had fun holidays.
Yeah.
And now it's just about feeling guilty.
It's wild. But that's where it came from. And it kind of existed as just a conversion of the Lupercalia festival through the years, essentially up until you get into the 17th, 18th century is where it became more converted into a lovey-dovey thing, and then thank Hallmark in the early 20th century.
I gotta say, and I'm and I don't know if I'm taking it too far, but I am imagining this scene in ancient Rome, and that's a culture that really didn't have all of the faux pas.
It was like their hedonism festival.
Yeah, because they didn't have the stigmas that we do. They had you had husbands and wives and whatnot.
Right.
But they very much so were open sexually.
Very much.
You could be very happily married, but you could still totally go and have sex with other people. Sometimes of different genders, the same gender, whatever your thing was.
It was established industry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rome was just, the ancient world was just very open about that shit. And now I'm picturing this scene where you're just kind of playfully running around the streets, kind of cat whipping people.
Yeah, it's like a locker room.
It's we're probably going to bang in a little bit. And that's kind of, honestly, that's kind of what it's about, because we're just doing it in a roundabout way today, where it's I'm going to buy you chocolate and flowers and whatnot, but we know how this night
Well,
ends.
thanks, prudes.
Yeah,
Well, that's only because of the Catholic guilt, because you'll feel guilty if you don't do
It's
it.
not just Catholic guilt. We're very, 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 in this country, reserved, even though we pretend that.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
not
we
the
substitute sex for violence, so.
Thank God we have the violence.
Yeah, then we'd have nothing.
We're so pent up sex.
Where else would we be without it?
Speaking of being reserved,
Yeah.
it's been sort of a noted issue, especially of late, with the advent of online dating, the internet, and all that stuff, that men are approaching women less. And so
This is something I've heard, yeah.
I have heard this, too.
So,
yeah.
I don't have it pulled up in front of me, but, a noted amount of men that are, 25 and maybe older have not had sex at all.
Well, that goes into a whole different thing.
But if you're if you approach a woman, statistically speaking, one of them will eventually say yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then once you go drill into that a little bit more, you'll find one that will have sex with you.
Right.
So you cast a wide net.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Thank you, Michael Scott, quoting Wayne Gretzky.
Moses quoting Wayne Scott.
Wayne Scott, yes.
Yeah. There
it's something I always kind of fall into, but we're in the age of us here in this room kind of grew up where we still had a little bit of that old school, you had to approach women kind of deal. Yeah. But for the generation coming up behind us, the whole internet thing where you're not doing face-to-face kind of interactions.
It's disassociation. Well, I'll say, to chime in on that, it's that it's also a thing that's been observed in the modern world, and I can only speak about what I've read in terms of actual data for whatever that's worth.
Sure.
But as you have a society that evolves to the place that we're at, and it's usually measured by financials, but as you develop as a society and have more things, and your personal wealth grows, whether you feel that or not, it's a thing that the governments of the world measure. As that occurs, it becomes more expensive to be in a relationship, certainly more expensive to have children, and you see that people engage in fewer relationships, and that's just a fact of it. And the flip side to that, and I think that and I find that this is something that I found very intriguing before we even discussed having this particular episode, is that in China, and I think it's the most popular holiday in the world in terms of how many people celebrate it, the fact that it's China, obviously it's tilted in one direction, but their most popular holiday, and they do have Valentine's Day, but their most popular holiday is Singles Day.
Yes.
And that's because the understanding that's put forth by people who know much more than me is that in China you have a tremendous amount of difficulty in forming a relationship in the first place. They have the same problems as we do, where it's become very expensive. They're a country that's evolved to this place where it's like we feel like middle class, and they're just trying to advance in their careers and almost don't have time, don't have money to engage in a relationship, which is very costly.
There's also a lot of like cultural milestones you kind of have to hit there in China.
Yeah. Oh, that's very true. Yeah. You got to make a certain amount. You got to do certain things before you can get there. But so Singles Day is their most important holiday, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's basically the opposite of Valentine's Day. It's a day where you kind of
Treat yourself.
Yeah, you treat yourself. and it is their most popular holiday in terms of the amount of people that turn out and also in terms of the amount of money that's spent. So you've got the exact opposite of what occurs here. And obviously we don't have an equivalent holiday.
No.
Here it's like, if you're...
Well, you have your birthday. That's kind of it.
I guess. Is that the same thing?
I treat myself. Well, I treat myself.
As far as
consistently, but-
treating yourself.
Yeah. Well, celebrating yourself,
We've all heard those are perpetually, well, we don't even have friends that are perpetually single, but we all know a person that's perpetually single.
Yeah.
And
normally,
they're never doing themselves any favors. And yeah, it sucks for them. And sorry. But you always see those things on like Valentine's Day. Someone's like, oh, well, we need to celebrate Singles Day.
Oh, yeah, like a Lonely Hearts Club thing.
But that's just it. We don't need to celebrate any of these days.
No, we don't.
We don't need to celebrate any of these days. And also, every day is Singles Day when you're single. Just go forth and try to bang a girl.
Yeah.
Like
But these silly
that's the real
holidays are
victory.
just breaking the monotony of your everyday life.
Yeah.
I could say because, fairly new in a relationship that I've approached women, I've done it online.
Yeah.
And going along with what we're talking about here, I've noticed that it doesn't matter if you approach them, whether it's online or in person, they can still have the same tendencies of like you get their number, you're going to text them, and they never get back to you.
Yeah.
So that's another reason that you could potentially, like for men out there who aren't approaching women, it's like, even if you succeed, you might still fail. And it's like, people don't like failing at all.
Well, no, but like you gotta fail. You're gonna fail.
Yeah,
You're gonna fail a lot.
You're not going to be good at it if
No.
you don't try to fail.
Right.
Because every time you fail, you get a little bit better.
Well, you shouldn't try to fail, but you're
Well, no,
gonna fail.
You got to try. You're going to
gotta
fail.
try,
Every
yeah.
time you fail, you should
And
pick
I
up
hate
something.
I hate to be cliche, but like failure is one of the greatest teachers you can have.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got to learn from your mistakes. You got to learn from being an idiot creep. You got to learn like all the things you're doing wrong because that's the only way you improve.
Yeah. If you keep failing, obviously it sucks.
Yeah.
You get depressed. You're
Right.
like, God,
Oh,
damn,
absolutely.
I can't pick up a girl to save my life. But eventually, you'll find one.
Right.
All it takes is one. It's
Yeah.
like finding a job. All it does is all you need is one to say, yeah, you're all right.
Yeah.
I'll take you.
You just got to sit at the end of the bar, and you look really deep and brooding.
Yeah, and you whiff your way down the skank line.
You mean like how you are right now looking at me?
Exactly, Dan. And I am wooing you, and don't even tell me I'm not.
I sense
Take
a
my-
love connection.
Take my breath away.
Dan, you don't need to ask me what I'm doing after this podcast because
He's doing it right
I'm
now.
going to interject and say your results may vary.
You sit at the end of the bar, you be deep and brooding, but at the same time confident. And at some point, some woman is going to try and fix you because that's really what it's all about. There's an ocean of women that are trying to fix people that need no fixing. And obviously you do that when you can't fix yourself.
I mean, I've told the story a number of times. Christina found me in her cousin's front yard.
There you go. Exactly.
And I was very broken.
Yeah, because you needed fixing.
Yes.
Exactly. Women intrinsically want to fix things. And that's a beautiful thing about women. And men are just destroying things themselves, other people around them. Often they're women. And this is just like the facts of life, and it is what it is. But if you can just cultivate that in some way, then you'll have, women with all of their own problems, and they're just going to flock to you and then be very disappointed and be very disappointed. And that's really what it comes down to. But that disappointment, if you can delay that by just a little bit of time, that's enough time to get the D in.
Well,
and that's what you're all about.
It's all about hope.
Yeah.
But hope is a dangerous thing, Andy Dufresne.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Hope could kill a man.
Hope could kill a man.
And it will.
It's killing us right now, Moses. I think this relationship just ended.
It's been over for years.
Awkward.
Yeah. All right, we'll talk
I
afterwards.
thought you were trying to pick me up. What's going on?
Dan, you're my backup. Come
I
on.
see you making eyes at the other guys on this
He
podcast.
doesn't even look at me, Dan. You know you're my number one.
I'm refusing to
You
look
know
in
I
his
love you,
direction
baby.
because I will not fall under that spell again.
He's going to get lost.
As long as I'm the bottom bitch, it's fine.
A power bottom, though.
You're always the bottom bitch, Dan. Come on.
Could generate a lot of power from the bottom.
I wouldn't know what to do with my love if it wasn't for you, Dan. But Moses, that's it.
Wow. I was going to say, you could take that love and stick it straight up your candy ass.
I knew you were waiting for it.
Well, that will bring me to another topic that you guys wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Which was what you always want to get at the end of taking your lady out on Valentine's Day or meeting them at the bar.
Oh.
Sex.
Yeah.
Let's talk about sex, baby.
Let's talk about you and me.
Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that could
Wow.
be.
Wow.
You know too much of that.
What? Salt and pepper, baby.
Let's talk about sex.
I think we just did it.
And do so in a way that won't get us banned on YouTube.
Well, that's
yes.
a tough story.
Let's
Dan,
do
we
this the way
gotta-
that we don't get banned on YouTube and I'm not kicked out to the curb at the end of the night.
Is it
We gotta stick to the
Is
shadows.
it like a general conversation about sex? Am I going like Davenport on this? Where am I at?
I hope you're not going like Davenport on
well,
this.
I'm not talking
Jesus
about
Christ.
pissing on people. It's fucking weird.
What do you mean you don't want to be? You don't like to be shit on? What are you, a fag?
Yeah, I guess so. If that makes me a fag.
And there's the ban.
yeah, there it is.
There it
yeah.
was.
Oh, and you did it, Dan. That's great.
That's not gonna get us banned. We're a half hour in.
No.
Oh, we're good. All right.
I'll do the jumping off point.
Yeah,
of
jump
this.
off, jump off.
All right. So I'll say this.
Yeah.
Topic of sex. There's making love when you're in a relationship.
Yeah,
So we're not
yeah.
talking about like banging some $2 trollop on the side of the,
Okay.
side of a
Right,
fucking
gotcha.
turnpike.
Who's
You know.
got $2?
Yeah.
And this economy?
Well, you got my $2 because this is what we did earlier. We weren't talking about that.
No,
That's fine.
no.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't maintain eye contact with me.
That
That's
was
fine.
$2 and a razor blade.
I feel awkward being in the middle again, but yes,
shouldn't.
continue.
Yeah.
You're the cream between us.
Oh,
Cookie
fuck
sandwich.
you.
It just takes some time, Justin.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of a ride.
Yeah. Here
One
I
hell of a
am.
ride.
Hold on loosely, but don't let
Stuck
go.
in the middle with you, baby.
I
Let's
don't know
go.
who's got the hips for it, but
And those hips don't lie.
Oh, God damn it.
We were gonna get hit with some sort of ass cap.
Yeah. So I'll say this: when you're in a legitimate, relationship, as we occasionally find ourselves, there is
inspiring.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the overall subject of sex.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, there's making love.
Yeah.
And there's fucking.
Yeah.
And these are two things that we should. I think that when
There's
one
also
finds
the
it-
quickie.
There is the quickie. Yeah. That's an outlier though, because that's a need. That's not like a choice.
It's all I've ever known.
Yeah. And there I go.
No, I'm
words alone
satisfied
are
now.
not- yeah. But my point about it would be is that I think that that's like a fundamental thing that is not that people often talk about their sex lives unless you're
Right, it's fairly taboo.
yeah.
Like you don't go into great details
Yeah.
between you and your
It's more of
significant
a
other.
respect
Well, I
thing,
would
but-
say that too. It's taboo. I think that it shouldn't be. I personally am very comfortable talking about the subject. I think that more people should be.
I don't mean in the way like talking about sex is taboo. I think like your personal details
Yeah.
if you have.
Well,
Yeah, with your
Yeah.
significant other.
Details are different.
Yeah.
You're not trying to turn
never
your friends
kiss and
on
tell.
with your fucking,
No,
your
no,
steamy
no,
stories.
No.
But no, I would say that there is that element that is like, and part of it is because it isn't talked about. It's kind of left out of that. But I would say that that's like a big thing that is not like generally addressed. That there is like that. I find it almost to be like a dualitous element because it's like me with my romantic partner.
Yeah.
Moses, I see you right there.
Hey, girl.
You have to answer to Nicolette, by the way. But
She writes in from time to time.
But I feel like that's an important aspect of it, where it's that there is very much so that element where there's a carnal nature to I mean basically what we're talking about is romance.
Yeah.
That's the word that we use for it. But it's like the physical and emotional element that exists before 2023 a man and a woman, and now it could be whatever. Moses and myself, for example. That's a delightful example.
I don't even know if you two are people.
Which one is the butch?
I'm the butch.
I guess.
You're like 3 feet tall.
Yeah, but I'm a power.
Yeah, you're a power
Moving
bottom.
on, folks.
Let's not go into a whole Always Sunny in Philadelphia determination of who's the power top or the power bottom.
Then why did I get these shorts, Stan?
That's they look terrible. on you. Point being, mine and Moses' deeply sexual, homosexual relationship aside.
Some of the audience will actually believe this.
Yeah,
so
they
you might
probably
want to
will.
measure your words a little bit.
Oh, I don't know. They can believe what they want to believe. The only one that I have to cater to is
turning back.
Nicolette. That's it. Other than that, yeah.
Swing away, Meryl.
We'll
swing
see what
away.
my brother has to say about this one.
Oh, God.
But no, that other element, because again, it isn't discussed, that there's this, so you have this broad concept of the relationship, essentially, romantic, physical relationship. And within that, there is, in my opinion anyway, and by all means, if somebody wants to correct me, but there is that carnal element, which is very much so like it's a physical, like I could describe it in more words. And then there is another element where I think that's where we use the phrase lovemaking, where it's like passionate.
Yeah.
And there's the physicality implies that there's a deeper emotional
Well, yes,
contact there. And they're two very different things.
Yes.
Because I do both with my partner.
Well, let me
they're both like I think that everybody does is my point though.
Well, there's another, because you're saying emotional. It's an emotional, it's like a love aspect. It's a love. In
Yes,
that aspect.
yeah.
Well, I think
because
that-
the other emotion I can throw into this, it's a part of fucking. And it's called hate fucking.
Well,
Because
that's
you genuinely dislike this person, but you do want to fuck.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I would even take that a little bit further, though. I would say that it doesn't need to be that you just hate the person, because you can do that in a relationship where you actually do genuinely love the person, but you're angry at them.
Yes.
So that's a thing,
It's
too.
the rage.
Yeah.
It is like
Yeah.
you hate everything about the situation.
Yeah.
You are mad
You're
at
angry.
yourself.
Yeah.
You're mad at that person.
Yeah.
And
You want to
it's-
get it out.
Yeah.
And we've always wanted to talk about it, but we can't really do it on this episode. But it's good to get it out. Post-nut clarity.
Yeah, post nut clarity. Yes, listen.
God, yeah.
It's always been on the chalkboard, if you will.
Yeah.
But
I actually had a conversation about this very subject with a dear friend who I will not mention the name. But yeah, it was one of those moments where he ended up showing up to this exact bar and texted me and said, listen, don't come outside with your gun. It's just me. And I'm going to fuck somebody, in your
garage.
In your garage, yeah. And thank God I slept through it, because I probably would have been outside with
I'm
a gun.
sorry I texted you so late.
Yeah. It's all right then. I forgive you for everything, baby. You know you're my number one. But we had a conversation about it afterwards, because I really didn't give a shit. I was like, you do you.
Right.
It's not my problem.
Right.
Not my business. We had a conversation after that, and he reflected to me. He was just like, he goes, I got that post-nut clarity, and as soon as I was done, I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yep.
And I said, and I said, I was like, I 100% get that.
Yeah.
And I've been in that boat a million times. Obviously, it's not a place that you want to be in, but it's a thing that really happens. Sometimes you're just driven by your dick.
well,
That's
hormones
really what it is.
the hormones are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It can take you over.
Yeah.
Fully take you over.
Oh, yeah.
And it's almost
One
like
track mind.
It's almost
Oh,
like
yeah.
mania.
Yeah.
It just will wreck your life.
Yeah. I am willing to die on this cross right now. All I want to do is bust a nut.
Yeah.
And if the whole world needs to die for that to happen, okay.
But it's wild. So it's like when I was single and shit, you go out to bars, you try to meet girls and stuff like that. And there's just something about it. Those hormones are fucking pumping. You want it. You're getting and drinks, social lubrication.
Well, the alcohol, all that it's really doing is removing the
Your
vestige.
inhibitions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's removing the vestige of a modern society where we're supposed to behave a certain way.
Right.
But other than that, what you're really talking about is just how you're reverting back to this natural state where men in particular are extremely carnal and aggressive.
Yes.
And whether that's, certainly in our modern society, that's definitely a bad thing. And it's a bad thing if you're trying to be in a committed relationship. But it's also a natural state. So it's this bizarre circumstance where you're...
There is something very natural about it because, you will be a maniac.
It's a driver. It's
Yeah.
a driver of men because inherently we want to bang as many chicks as possible so we can get them all pregnant,
Right.
or as many pregnant as possible, so our
It's
our,
like a
our
genetic
bloodline
built-in
carries on.
mechanism. But
Nature drives you towards that, and nature drives women in the opposite direction for very real reasons.
Yeah.
Women, once pregnant, can't defend themselves.
Yeah.
They need a single man there to do the the heavy lifting essentially,
and to
put it that
protect
way.
that's
what
her
I mean,
and the kid.
Yeah.
And then when the kid is born, she can protect the kid, but she still needs someone to go out and fucking hunt a wolf.
Exactly, yeah.
That's where you bring in Hunter.
Here we are, baby. But that's the nuance of it. It's that we do function in this modern world, and we do engage in the relationships that we have, and so on and so forth. But at the same time, it's that you do have this DNA that essentially is guiding you in another
It's so
direction.
hard to put like a stranglehold on your biology.
Yeah. You have to use your mind to control this other aspect, but you're fighting yourself.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is. It's that you're fighting yourself the entirety of the time. Women probably have an equivalent to this that I can't
I'm sure they
properly
do.
relate
None of us
to.
can put ourselves in that in their shoes.
Yeah.
And, like, women hearing this are probably like, what the fuck? But like, there are biological drivers.
Well, I mean, I'll say this though. I'll give this on the flip side of it because I obviously cannot speak for women in general. But I mean, I'll say this, and I've said this to my current romantic partner and other folks. It's that the bottom line is that when I've had like this type of a conversation, and I try and like tread carefully, but I'm so fucking like fumbling over my words all the time that I always fuck it up and end up in the doghouse. But my genuine opinion is that we do have these feelings, and like we don't need to know anything about like human evolution or history or anything to be able to really understand them, because like I am in a relationship with somebody that I deeply, deeply love, but at the same time, I would never like do anything to the contrary. But at the same time, I'm very capable of observing that somebody else is attractive. That's like, and everybody is capable of that, and women are capable of doing the same thing. So when I'm in, the relationship that I'm in,
none of us be naive. That doesn't shut off when you partner up.
That's what I mean. Yeah. And women can do the same thing. And again, I said this to my partner that, I was like, you totally find other men attractive. I'm fucking sitting here fucking drinking goddamn Jack Daniels doing this podcast. I'm not Brad Pitt. And if you told me
not a sponsor.
If you told me that
well, we haven't reached out. We don't know.
Brad Pitt, he's not a sponsor.
If you told me that you would like if it was just like Brad Pitt and me in a lineup and you're not going to fuck him, I'd call you a liar. Because I know what that is.
It depends on what Brad Pitt.
That's true. Yeah. We're talking Brad Pitt and like Fight Club. Bottom line is that this is a thing that is real, and I'm not offended by the idea that, I mean, other people are like, that's what it is. It's that people are attractive and it's a physical thing that's very built in. Whether you act on it is a different story. But the idea that it's there, this is an intrinsic part of the situation that we all find ourselves in as people who live on this planet and do engage in our individual relationships, or if they're more than that, whatever the case may be. But I feel like that's something that's lost, that we try to ignore that fact. And I've been in that boat myself where I'm trying to tell somebody else, like, you can tell me that somebody else is attractive and I don't fucking care because I know
that's
that.
the thing.
I know that.
For all this to work, we all have to have the level of maturity to understand that we're all human at base, right? Yeah. And we all have like instincts and things that hit our brain and whatever like that. Like that doesn't go away.
Yeah.
You don't mate up with somebody and it's like, now everybody's a pile of sand or whatever the case may be. It's like
people are attractive or they're not.
But everyone just became Rosie O'Donnell.
Well, that's a pile of dog
but
shit.
Like that also like leads to when you pair up with somebody and you choose to live the rest of your life with somebody, that comes with that responsibility.
Yeah,
and that's
part of the love that you don't act on your base instincts.
That's actually where that's exactly where I was trying to go with it. You said it better than I could, but that's exactly what brings it back to, not that I'm in favor of Valentine's Day, but I think that that's actually if people want to perceive there to be a magic there, I think that that's where it is.
Yeah.
It's not that. It would be very easy to say that you're the only person on this planet that I don't think is ugly.
Yeah.
So we're together now.
Especially with the population count now.
That's a very easy decision. I think that actually what makes it meaningful is that I can look at, my person, my lady, or whoever you are out on the fucking planet, you can say like, there's a million fucking people on this planet that I think are goddamn fucking gorgeous. And I'd love to fuck the shit out of them, but you're the person that I want to be with.
You are my person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that that's the meaningful thing about it, and that's what's lost.
Well, it attaches because while those other women might be attractive, they might be utter dog shit if they get two words out to you.
Right. Yeah,
well,
exactly.
there's that part.
And that goes back to that, like sometimes it's personalities that sync. It's what you like about the other person, It's what you find enjoyable about them. But of course, the first thing that anybody notices, and even if it isn't romance, just in terms of how you observe other human beings on the planet, you notice how they look. The first thing that you notice, are they white? Are they black? Are they 7 feet tall? Are they 3 feet tall?
Our primary senses, you're catching like the visuals first.
Exactly.
And that's what the first thing that hits your fucking brain. Yes or no?
Like food, you eat with your eyes first.
Yeah, that's true.
You're not wrong. But like it's biology.
Yeah.
Like we attach all of our modern sensibilities to it, but at our base, we are biological creatures that are fed by hormones and like instinct. That's how it works. And
Exactly.
anybody that says otherwise is a fucking liar.
Exactly, yeah. And that's that system
love
functions.
And like a proper like relationship, that's you're giving the respect mutually where you both decide, I love you. My instincts aside, I choose to be with you for the rest
It's
of
a
my
commitment,
life.
Exactly,
and
yes.
it's an honoring of a vow, even if you're not like married, like a traditional vow.
And
but it's a vow to that person that you are the one, and that's it.
Exactly. And
Like I will fight temptation, and
100% agree. And that vow, and this is my point, that vow would be meaningless if there wasn't other people that you would have
for sure.
hypothetically
Yeah, for
considered.
sure.
It needs to be.
Yeah,
What gives it value is that there could be somebody else, but I choose you.
it's like you can't have good without evil. You can't have love without.
And you make that choice, and that's what gives the choice value. You know, without that,
you're
then
absolutely
you've got
right. It comes across pretty much everything, but with this particularly, it's like, and a lot of people don't want to talk about this. Our biology will always be there in our brain. It'll always dictate how we think about
Exactly.
things.
Yeah.
But that choice, that's where like the love thing is.
Exactly. Yeah.
It doesn't go away. You could still be like, 60, 70 years old, and if you're single, you're hitting on like the waitresses at like Tommy Bahamas or whatever.
There's stories of like
I'll be that creepy
sex,
old man.
The most sex happens in those retirement homes where these old people are just like stuck in a room mostly, and their families left them.
You're
but
in the
they're-
back nine. Well,
They're banging each other. They're having fucking Caligula-style orgies at shady rest homes.
There's no drawback to that. What do you do? Get
Well,
her
there's
pregnant?
there's like herpes runs rampant in those places.
You're practically dead anyway.
Yeah. Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got an STD when you're 80. What's gonna happen?
Good for you.
Yeah. I have everything else. And now this is going to be the thing? Okay.
my mesothelioma.
So let me go, because you mentioned, being in the doghouse a little bit ago.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you guys.
Consistently.
I've been in the doghouse too.
Moses lives there.
When you're
been
in
there first.
when you're in the doghouse, do you have any sort of strategy to get yourself out of the doghouse?
Oh.
I couldn't tell you that
Constant,
because my
constant
lady
trying.
might listen to this.
constant trying to make it up and to show that you are truly sorry.
Oh, a groveling servitude.
Yeah.
Things like that.
That's
typically
why
what
they
I
call
run
it the
to.
doghouse because
I mean, I'll say this on it. My personal opinion on it, and part of this comes from my older brother who's got 10 years on him, may I add. I'll say this, that I think that as the guy, you do kind of need to take the knee a little bit more.
A little
Oh,
bit.
yeah.
Female.
For sure.
If I feel very adamant about how I feel, then I will argue that point. And sometimes it does me a disservice.
Yep.
Because obviously what you're trying to do is reconcile the situation.
Yeah.
Women in general, in my opinion, are more stubborn than men and have more ability to weigh out the argument that's occurring. I think that, basically, to put it in a simpler way, I think that women are smarter than men.
No, they're
Yeah,
smarter than
yeah.
us, and men are reactive as
Some-
opposed
yeah.
to.
sometimes it's better to be good than right.
Yeah. And that's a great word for it, reactive.
Yeah.
I'm extremely reactive. If I get hit with something, I tend to come back like with all the guns out, this type of thing. And it's not beneficial to me. So if I really feel like I'm in the right, then I'll argue my point. And if it's a losing battle, then I'll try and be more, acquiescing to the other party. That said, if I'm wrong, then I know that what I need to do is to apologize and apologize and apologize, because explanations of why you're wrong don't mean a lot to women.
No.
Yeah.
That's my general understanding. That's not a thing that they're really looking
It's more
for.
actions over
Yeah.
saying anything.
And it's hard for me to understand that because, like, I have not been in a lot of relationships, but I've had arguments with you guys over the many years we've
sure.
been friends. And it's like every now and again when I find myself in that boat, I'll just say, like, listen, I fucked up. This is what I did. This is why I did it. And I'm sorry. And that's the last thing that I'm going to say about it.
and
So
also,
we're
like,
either friends or we're not.
As
you know?
dudes,
And-
like, listen, people make fun of that, like, whatever, girls make fun of that, but, like, we're very simple that way.
Exactly. Yeah.
We'll
and
say those insulting things and either forgive or more likely forget about them.
Yeah.
And where women are always at each other's throats, but still best friends and talk shit about each other behind
it's
the
a common
back.
thing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when I have that type of interaction with like any guy friend, including you guys,
Yeah.
it's like basically, it's just like somebody feels disrespected in some way, and you basically say, hey, I'm sorry that I disrespected you. Didn't mean to do it. This is why I did it. And that's the end of it. And you move past it. Whereas women have a higher intelligence in terms of emotions.
Oh, emotional intelligence is by far. You're absolutely right.
Thing. And like, I have trouble with that. So it's like just saying the facts isn't enough. You need to feel the things, and that's like something foreign to myself.
Yeah, feelings aren't based in fact.
Exactly. It's a completely different thing. So I have to like then engage in that type of a scenario, and I don't really know where I'm at, whereas I know where I'm at with you guys, where it's like, oh, we're either enemies or we're friends.
We'll hash it out. It'll be figured out, whatever, or it won't, and we'll reapproach
and we'll be fine.
later.
Exactly.
Well, that's the thing with women when they're mad at you. You never know where you are with them because they get to like you might think that they're mad at you for X, but they're actually mad at you for Y and Z.
Yeah,
and you have no idea about those things.
You don't have any idea what they even are.
That's the thing. It's the question. What did I do?
Yeah,
but that's also. I will say this though, and I'll lean towards the side of female intelligence once again. That's the most clever move. Yeah, I'm a panderer. It's the most clever move though, because not for nothing. It's like because I'm not trying to ever fight with you guys. So if we have like a disagreement.
No.
Then it's like I just want it to be...
I mean, listen. Pete and I, we haven't. Oh, Hunter. Sorry, haven't disagreed in a long time.
His Christian name.
But I gotta be around you and Moses all the time. We disagree nonstop.
Yeah.
There's a reason we only gather for this this podcast.
It's because we're in love.
Yeah.
And if you ever disagree with me, I can just mute you.
Yeah, that is absolutely true.
There's mics close by, so I'll just talk louder.
My point about it is that the woman's angle to that, I actually think, is the much more clever one because it's trying to get to the core of what the issue was. Now, oftentimes I don't know what that issue is, but that's because I'm fucking dense. But it does kind of approach the core issue. Now, part of that is also it's just the way in which different people respond to it. Because when I get pissed off at like a guy, be it you guys or anybody, it's just that I'm upset with something that you said.
Yeah.
So it's very basic. It's just like, I don't like that you said that, and I want an apology.
It's
and now let's
very
move past
surface level type things.
Whereas when I like upset, my lady or a situation like that, it's like, I've hurt her feelings.
Yep.
Whereas like, I don't think that any of you guys have ever hurt my feelings. It's just never happened.
No.
You've pissed me off, but you've never hurt my feelings. I've always been fine.
Right.
But like with women, it's like, it's going in both directions. So my feelings have been hurt by women, but it's like, and I just don't know what to do then because I just want to like go and yell at you. And I'm like, no, that's not the right thing.
That's when the hate talk comes in.
This isn't producer Dan. You can't just berate her until she says something to you.
Now, what I will say, there is no feeling quite like when you can tell the ozone is changed in the room.
That's true, yeah.
And your significant other is mad at you for some reason. And as a male, you'll ask, what's wrong? Oh, nothing's wrong.
I'm fine.
Nothing's
I'm
wrong.
fine.
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Fine.
And then your brain is just racing a million miles an hour.
What did I do?
And then once you forget about it, you're like, all right, fine, I guess you're fine. And then a week later, then it all comes barreling down, and then she lays everything out on why.
Perfectly
and
planned
you're like,
with bullet points.
Oh my God.
That's the genius of it, though. And this is why I do, like, when people have that, like, conversation about, which is the fairer sex, that type of thing. Mm-hmm. I do, and as much of a panderer as I am, I don't feel like I'm pandering in this.
No.
I genuinely think that women are so much smarter than men, whether it's built in and it's genetic or it's, like, thought out. But the bottom line is that's fucking genius that you don't tell someone why you're mad at them because now you have full control over them. And this is one of those things, and I extrapolate this because as a lover of history, and I've spoken to like feminists and whatnot, and they're like, men start all the wars and men do like all of these things. And I'm like, and it's a cliche, but behind every man is a woman. And
Troy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a lot of these wars are started because of women.
And therein lies the power. Because that's the truth of it. Like, because if any one of you guys, you three fucking dudes, if you said to me, like, Pete, go and do XYZ, because I'm upset with you, I would say, well, go fuck yourself, faggot.
Right.
Like, go and fucking do it yourself. But if my lady, or honestly, if one of your ladies said to me, like, hey, listen, Pete, I'm having a really hard day. Could you go and rob that liquor store? I'd be like, oh my God, I know that I shouldn't. But, like, are you really, how upset are you? Like, I'm going to entertain that idea.
We don't even drink.
We're so, like, wildly intertwined these days that we are subservient to each other's partners.
Like I would legitimately just like I'm like very much so a victim of that, and it's almost like I just like abandoned my wherewithal, and I'm like, oh, this seems like a good idea. And it's like if one of your ladies told me go and rob that liquor store, and I go and fucking do it, and I have to call up my lady to bail me out of jail, and she's like, why the fuck would you do this? And I'd be like, I don't know, I'm just an idiot.
It's not just one of our ladies. It is the Grand Council of the ladies.
Yeah, and that's what it is. Yeah,
It is like a council of Ricks or Reed Richards. It's like, this doesn't make sense that there is one because you guys don't get along. But you seem to be very cohesive when it comes to whatever the fuck it is.
It's like from South Park when all the girls literally had a council.
Oh, right, yeah.
They used to pass legislation. Be like, does that sparkle with everyone? Sunshine.
It does run more efficiently than actual government.
That's how it is, though. I
No,
feel like,
for sure. For sure.
Men do run the world, but women
But do
control
they?
everything.
but women control it.
Scenes, yeah.
Because we
It's
run the
genius.
world because we just want an affirmative. You did good, boy.
Yeah,
Pat on the
exactly.
head.
Yeah.
I just want
Just to get
goddamn
out of the
affection.
Yeah.
just to get out of the doghouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we had to
We
invade
all-
whatever country we invaded.
Yeah. We're all good boys, but sometimes we get yelled at.
Yeah, I just want the pat on the head.
Maybe if we invade Iraq, I'll get a blowjob.
Can I just sleep in the bed again? I'll sleep at the foot. That's fine.
We love you. We love you. We do. We do.
Very unsettling.
Yes. Always. Always.
So,
Just
guys.
Yes.
I have, we've rarely done this on the podcast before. I have a would you rather.
Ooh.
Okay.
We've talked about doing them,
Yeah.
but breaking it out here. Oh boy.
So let me set some rules to this game.
Okay.
I'm effectively, you guys know this more than either of us, but I'm effectively the dungeon master when I ask this question.
okay.
So you're allowed to ask me questions.
I got dice in the car.
to figure out which one of these would you rather do.
Okay.
So I only got one. So if you guys come up with one on the fly, please. offer them.
Okay. All right.
All right. So would you rather go on a Valentine's date with Rob Reiner
Okay.
or give Mitch McConnell a sensual sponge bath?
Oh, Rob Reiner.
Rob Reiner.
Yeah.
All right. So what
We're
I
just
did,
having dinner.
I feel like there's more.
there's more to this. So you
Final answer.
It's still Mitch McConnell, and he's gross.
So you pay for the date and sex is involved. You have
Wait.
Can I get a picture of Rob Reiner again?
Yeah, I'd like a picture as well.
You want a picture?
Because
of Rob
Mitch McConnell
Reiner.
is
Yeah,
like
I
burned
do.
into my brain, and I don't even watch the news.
Yeah. He looks like a turtle, I know that much.
Yeah, he kind of does
Dan,
look like Master of Disguise.
Dan, I have so many questions.
Okay. Fire
many
away.
Yeah, what's wrong
Are
with
you? First of all, are you done? Is that the
for
whole
now.
thing? Okay.
Yeah.
For now. Wow.
Well, you gotta ask. You gotta.
Loaded.
You gotta.
What are you,
ask
my
questions.
girlfriend?
Oh, right, he was Meathead.
let me take a look here.
He was Meathead from All in the Family, right? And did Princess Bride?
All right. So
Yeah,
so
I'm going that way.
So the sex with Rob Reiner. Mm-hmm. Can you describe the sex?
Ooh.
He is on top the entire time.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, I'm kind of.
You have to maintain eye contact the entire
how
time.
could I?
Oh, over
All
the
right.
shoulder?
So no
wait,
doggy?
wait. No. I need once again, please. Let me
All
get
right.
this one out.
All
All
right.
right. So he's on top. That implies that he's riding me.
Yes.
So
Oh.
I'm going to be honest with you, then. Like full disclosure, my dick's not going to be hard. So I don't know what he's riding. Are we just grinding?
He slipped Viagra into your booze.
Oh, God damn it! I hate your answers.
All right. There's the Rob Reiner thing. What was the Mitch McConnell one?
You have to give him a sensual sponge bath.
What do you mean by sensual? Like if it's not sensual enough, I have to do it again?
I mean, fucking nurses give sponge baths all the time. They're not
Yeah,
sensual. They're
yeah.
just clinical.
What does sensual mean?
All right, so
It's a gray area.
there-
Poor woman.
we have a nice little scenelit.
Yeah.
There's candles.
Scene lit. Fuck you.
On top of old
Fuck you, Dan.
Smokey.
There's rose petals.
Okay.
You have to do this slowly. It's going to take.
How long does it take? Yeah.
It's going to take the same amount of time to bang Rob Reiner. And
2
it's-
minutes.
No.
Wow, you're pretty into him.
I'm going.
Way into it.
You're excited.
They're each going to take the time it
God,
would
I
take
didn't-
if Sting was banging you.
Oh, God.
Sting
no.
who? From the
Jeez.
police
From
or
the
from
police.
wrestling?
Trick Sting.
Oh, no, I don't know about that.
Dan, I'll say this before we even answer this. I'm so upset with the picture that you've painted. It's awful. It's awful.
I have a pit in my stomach right now.
Yeah. God damn it. All right. Realistically, how long are we talking?
We can't do reverse
Can we put a number to
cowgirl.
this?
All right.
Are you serious?
With
You wanna
Rob
see his
Reiner?
ass? What are you talking about?
It's
Eye
better than his
contact.
balding head.
Eye contact. Eye contact.
Eye
Well,
contact.
can we just have mirrors then? Like,
Wow.
Oh, God. Now you're making it weirder.
I think he's made his choice.
yeah, it does sound
I don't know. Mitch McConnell's just fucking gross.
And Rob Reiner is it?
He's less gross. He's just less gross.
God damn it! I gotta stick. I gotta stick with the McConnell because I don't like fucking Viagra or not. I don't want to put my dick in fucking Rob Reiner. That's gross.
That's fair. That's fair.
Grody.
Yeah.
Grody.
Yeah, it's
To the max.
Mitch McConnell.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but you know,
I still don't know what
So
you mean by
melty.
sensual. But
So melty.
it's done
I'm gonna-
slowly.
I'm gonna tear his skin.
No, because you're doing it slowly.
yeah, that's
Dan,
why
you're
you're doing
very
it.
Dan, I know how to
slowly.
give a sensual.
Why are you asking me so goddamn?
You don't even know what the goddamn
I
word
know
means.
how to give a sensual massage to an elderly senator. So please don't educate me on that. I've
You
been
don't need
around
to
the block.
add that qualifier elderly because all senators are.
That's fair.
Oh, God. This is fucking horrible. Fuck
All right,
you, Dan.
So Dan, let me add a little something here, and I want to really illustrate this. for you
Oh,
guys.
gotta paint a picture.
Yeah. Are they talking? Are they illustrating this while you're doing it?
What,
Are
a
they
Mitch
gi-
McConnell moan?
Are they giving you a little dirty?
So-
Yeah.
I was hoping for
is
the
Rob
stroke.
Reiner saying like, oh yeah, deeper?
Oh, God.
Yes, Rob
Oh,
Reiner is
God.
doing that, and Mitch McConnell is.
Saying, oh yeah, deeper.
No, he's
It's like it's
Mitch
a sponge,
McConnell
bitch.
is giving you pleasant moans the entire
No, oh,
time.
God. Oh, God.
I like how figuratively you use the word pleasant.
I felt it.
Yeah.
I enjoy Rob Reiner's work, so I enjoy him as a person, where Mitch McConnell adds nothing to anything.
Yeah. So you're going.
So I'm going Rob Reiner.
I'm going McConnell. Couldn't it have been Bill Clinton? I feel like you would give me a root around.
Bill Clinton would
I was trying to find someone grosser than
Yeah.
Rob Reiner.
No.
But then I was thinking, first of all, people wouldn't recognize that person, and then I had to go to like a disgusting fat woman, and then that's easy. You just bang the disgusting
Yeah, the
fat
women kind of works and better
So
than
it's a
that.
woman at least.
Yeah.
I hate it all.
Yeah. I would have gone
I
walking.
think,
for one of these.
unfortunately, I would say this no matter who I'd say, but I think I'm going Mitch. Fuck me. What the fuck? Horrible.
He might if you give him the chance.
So what I will say is,
Yeah.
whenever you guys come up with a would you rather,
Yeah.
you don't have to participate. But since
Yeah,
I felt the pain.
Yeah.
Like if you're the dungeon manager, you don't have to.
You are gracious, sir.
I will say I would go with Mitch McConnell as
Yeah.
well. Just because you have a better chance of him dying
Yes.
while you give him the sponge bath, and then you could just leave.
I want to throw. I
You might
want to
have
throw
a few
one
moments
out
of those
there.
stroke moments where he just.
I'm going to throw one out
catatonic.
there, just like off the cuff,
Okay.
right? Just like straight
Yeah,
up.
go ahead.
All right. So it's one of these two people, right? But you also have to maintain, and you don't need to feel it because they can't force that.
Oh, boy.
But you need to maintain a friendship with them for
Oh,
the rest of your
friendship.
life. So it's either Christopher Walken, just threw him out, right? It's Christopher Walken, or it's Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh, Christopher Walken.
Christopher
Yeah, it's
Walken.
kind of Christopher Walken.
Christopher
I'll
Walken.
take Terry any day.
I can't imagine being friends with Rosie O'Donnell. Just that alone.
I feel like Christopher Walken would be nicer to you too.
Yeah.
I would hope. Like,
Yeah.
I
would
feel
just
you'd be
hope,
laughing
yeah.
the whole time through like the
Yes,
sex.
yes,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
But like you could probably laugh about it together after.
He does that Fat Boy Slim dance before coming in.
He's a great dancer.
Real
He's a
quick,
great
real
dancer.
quick about Rosie O'Donnell that made my mind up so quickly. So she appears on certain like TV shows.
Yeah.
And I have family that
Still?
works in the business, and they were not allowed to look at her. They had to look at the floor whenever she passed by.
Why would you want to look at her?
Yeah, why would you want to?
It doesn't like if you.
It's not- I'm
you
not
ha-
surprised by
You
that.
have to just keep your
That's
head
weird that she has that like
Well, it's like
principle.
yeah, Mariah Carey's like that. So
Is
you're
she?
not allowed to look at her. Yeah. I knew somebody who worked like on a set with her. Apparently, it's a thing. Yeah.
Like I get it with Prince because he's talented, or he was talented.
I don't get it with anybody.
But the other two, they're not talented.
No.
Like yeah, Mariah Carey could open up a garage door with her voice, but that's it.
Wow. I don't really know what that means.
Wowie wow.
Because she could,
Wow.
allegedly she could hit those notes that could break glass. At least maybe she could have been.
All she does is sing that Christmas song that no one likes.
No, she sings Butterfly.
Yeah, let's
too.
not get into that.
She was big in the 90s.
So, guys, we're almost out of time, but I figured a
God.
good way to close out this episode is
Vomit.
because you're all out there, you're going to enjoy your Valentine's Day, hopefully. Hopefully, you don't get yourself in the doghouse like we discussed. What kind of dating advice would you like to leave our listeners on this Valentine's Day?
Wow. That's a good question.
Oh.
I don't know. I haven't dated in a long time.
All right, here's some bad advice. Take all the shots up front, baby. Get wild with it.
Yeah, pregame. Pregame. Get yourself in the parking lot. Get your grill out. Get started in
Have
there.
some
and then-
eggnog.
Milk is a perfect choice for that.
Yeah, maybe a fake mustache. I don't even know. Just slip out through the weeds at the end of the day.
Show her how many wings you can eat in one sitting.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
that.
That's a good one. Show your dominance by crushing.
Yes.
Demonstrate your value.
Yeah.
Demonstrate value.
Yeah, suck down all the meat and then turn on the bone.
All right.
Wow.
So, guys, while you're thinking
Double
of,
entendres.
while you're thinking of some dating advice, I have two.
Oh, please.
All right. So, first one. Now you can tell that what this word actually means: romance first, then dinner.
Interesting.
No,
okay.
eat your dessert first because you don't know if you're going to make it to the entree.
Yeah, because after dinner you're gonna be all sluggish and
Yeah,
slow.
oh, yeah.
That's fair too, yeah.
And also too, post-nut clarity.
Yeah, post-nut clarity all day. All day.
And then the second piece of advice is if you're out there and you're one of those people that we were talking about, don't approach women, haven't had a girl in a while, date moms.
Yeah.
Find yourself a hot
is the
mom.
move.
Get
That
to
is
the
the
abortion clinic because all those girls are loose. What?
No,
There's a reason they're there.
Yeah.
These are
Hand your phone number to every girl that's not crying.
yeah. This is advice I learned from Jay.
Whatever that is.
Jay and Silent Bob.
Oh. Wow.
I mean, the bottom line is that cast a wide net.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, that's really what dating is all about.
Yeah, but also at the same time, if you're around our age, if you're almost 40, you got to start considering dating moms.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
Because at this point, if you're almost 40 and you're still single, you ain't a prize
And
pick
you
no
know
more.
they put out.
Yeah,
I'm married to a mom.
You know they fuck, so that's always a good thing. And then also too, if you're like a 6 or a 7
Yeah.
as a guy, you could still get a hot mom.
Yeah.
Now they might have more than one kid,
Right.
But still, as long as you're a decent guy, you could still get yourself
And listen, in the
nothing
first
wrong with
couple
that,
weeks,
mom.
you get to go home with a Capri Sun or whatever.
Capri Sun's
I don't
great.
only subscribe to that, I'm also a member.
But listen, if I would say one piece of advice, don't take yourself too fucking seriously, man.
Yeah. You
It's
got to be able to laugh at
Chill
yourself.
out.
Yeah.
Chill the fuck out.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
If you're gonna be crazy about it, it's just not gonna work out.
Don't
for
dwell on it too
Yeah.
much. Just go.
That's it. And that's hard to say because if I
Yeah.
said that to myself years ago, I'd be like, "Fuck you, bro."
And if you do, I will
I'm
say
out of
this
socks
as well.
now.
Yeah.
If you do manage to land yourself some sort of a hot older mom or something like that, swing your way on over to I can't believe it's semen.com.
Yes.
That's going to give you the lubrication that you need regardless of your age. Give the gift of love this Valentine's Day.
Do they make sculptures, like a turkey sculpture or anything that I could bring to the
Oh,
family
fuck
table?
you. Fuck you and your butter sculptures.
Get yourself the immaculate ejaculate.
It's a beautiful butter semen sculpture of Jesus on the crucifix.
90% of people did not know that they were tasting semen, and that's really incredible. It's got that bleach taste, right? And that's what I hear, anyways.
Yeah, that's
Do they have an unsalted for cooking, for baking?
They do. They've got everything.
Oh, that's nice. All right.
Right now, they've got 60 different flavors. Yeah.
Well,
That's a lot of flavor, Jesus.
Yeah, yeah. I normally get the tobacco and gunpowder, but I'll tell you, the whiskey and gunpowder, that one's been calling my name.
Oh, classic.
You know?
That's got a different nuance, a smoky nuance.
Exactly. Yeah, you want that. It really fills up the lining at the top of your pickup truck. It's nice.
I'm so fucking lost at this point.
Well, 90% of people did not know they were tasting semen, and 90% of you are not subscribed to this podcast. So make sure that you subscribe.
Do
and leave us
better.
a 5-star review. Check us out on YouTube and Rumble. Make sure that you like, comment, share, and hit that notification bell. Do that because I think we straight up are shadow banned on YouTube.
At this point, yes, for sure.
Follow
The
us.
semen talk?
Yeah, I mean, it might be. It also could be a lot of things.
Yeah, there's
It's not like we,
Mistakes
don't
were
curse
made.
on here. Follow us on social media. We are at Loud and Drunk on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Somehow not shadow banned on TikTok. If you enjoyed this podcast, then become a Loud and Drunk supporter at loudanddrunk.locals.com and patreon.com/loud and drunk.
I like that transparency.
So, for Justin, Moses, and did you have a last name, Mr. Hunter?
Gatherer.
It's Hunter.
Oh, it's Hunter Hunter?
Yes.
I'm just going to call you Hunter Hearst Hemsley. So for Triple H, I am Dan. Thank you for joining us, and until next time,
Suck it.
happy Love Day, everybody.
Sorry, I thought we were doing a DX thing.
do 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 do.